Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Asia Smart App Workshop on Mobile First Design, the role of UI/UX design in small screens and touch interaction. I'm Paula, today's MC. Before passing the stage to our speakers, I would like to express my appreciation to your support on behalf of WTIE, the organizer of Asia Smart App Award 2022 and 23. We are especially grateful to the continuous support of Create Hong Kong. And let me introduce our speakers today. We have Mr. Nick Tsoi, design and UX designer and UX manager of Cherrypicks, and Ms. Serena Lau, UI/UX designer of Green Tomato Limited. And after all the sharing, we will have a chit-chat session and interaction time with all of you guys, the audience. And before begin our workshop, I'd like to invite everyone, both in person and online, to participate in the poll to tell us more about yourself. Are you a designer? Regardless of whether you are a UI/UX designer or graphic designer or what designer looking for a wider opportunity, you may scan the QR code on the slide and let us know. And while you are sending us your answer, I would like to invite our guest speakers to have a good photo session. And may I invite Serena and Nick to come in front of our photo together. Please. Hey. Yeah. Okay, ready. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Oh, there was someone sending us the answer. Okay, seems there is quite a lot of designer here today. I hope the workshop is useful to you guys. And thank you for your participation. It's time to pass the time to our speakers of the first session. Nick from Cherrypicks. Yeah, please.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Nick. I'm from Cherrypicks. Our company is focused on doing digital solutions that focus on digital transformation, including location intelligence, fintech, health tech, property tech, and also blockchain solutions. And thank you, WTIA, for inviting as a guest speaker today. It's my pleasure to share my thoughts and also some of my findings to this topic. So today's topic is mobile first design. And undeniably, mobile has changed the way we live, and it touches every aspect of our life. For most people, the first thing they will see on when they wake up is mobile screen, and the last thing before they go to bed is also mobile screen. So mobile is not just a gadget or a device anymore. It has become the lifestyle in this digital world. And in order to create mobile design, I think we should learn about the mobile step by step. And in 2007, Steve Jobs presented the first iPhone to all of us. It combines the function of music and also the phone and also the internet, and providing a new way for us to go online. And at the same time, there is an app store in iPhone allow people to download the app, and also there are from now on we have two ways to interact to our mobile phone. In one is the mobile app, and another one we call it web app, and also call it responsive web. So why mobile took the lead? As many people use mobile device to stay connected with others, stay informed, and manage their way of work and also finances, it has greatly impacted the way we live, work, and interact with others. And I would like to share some statistics to you all to show that why mobile take to lead. According to the state counter and data, the number of mobile users in worldwide has surpassed of desktop users. Overall, mobile users continue to grow compared to desktop users with market share of 58%. And the most recent data also indicate that people spend an average of 3.2 hours on their mobile phone each day, and also 5.7 hours average time spent by millennials each day. The statistic also show that people check their phone 58 times each day on average, with 30 those as you check their phone during working hours. That is worldwide data. So how about Hong Kong? And the current usage rate in Hong Kong is still a few percent ahead of desktop users, but it is undeniably a trend. It also means that if your website is not mobile friendly, you will losing a lot of users. And here it brings out the next question: what can we do about this? And that's why mobile-first design shows up. As the term suggests, mobile-first design is an approach in which designers produce design for mobile device first. This can be done by sketching or prototyping the design for smaller screen first, and then gradually working up to larger screen sizes. So I would like to introduce some principles for the mobile-first design. In order to provide seamless and effortless experience for user, here are some key factors considered in designing for small screen and touch interaction. The first one is complexity or simplicity. Is serving user what they need in for the most straightforward way. As small screen has limited space, so it is crucial to keep the design simple. This means using clear and concise language, avoiding unnecessary elements, and focusing on the most crucial information. Just like when you design the mobile screen, first is design, and you need to always ask one question: is what is the most important thing on the screen? So let's see. I know if you are a designer, so you will face a lot of questions about everything of the stakeholder want to put their content in a very important position in this screen. So they will struggle who will put it on the top and who will put it on the bottom or middle. So when every information is so important, so it will lose users' attention. So we don't know which this. So for example, this screen, if so many banners, carousel banners, and also information put in the screen in a very messy way, so it will lose your user and lose attention. So this question comes very important. What is the most important one thing you need to raise it out and put it into the screen? So our designer have the responsibility to organize it for users. So we can use some skills, for example, to emphasize the user for which function they are critical for this screen, and then we can use the we organize the information clearly. So the next one, and also need to ask yourself is mobile first thinking force content prioritization without people even knowing it. So how can we do this? There are two pages. So which one you think is better, A or B? So B, is it? Yes, because mobile screen is so small, so we don't read all the information, and we just read it by the title. We can use the conversational heading. So if we think the heading we are interested, we can read the paragraph, and also we can read the following information by the interested topic to trim all the contents to a very simplicity way. And the next one is the intuitive navigation. It is crucial to read the defense of the website or app. Intuitive design is very important when it comes to deliver a neat and clean user experience on mobile devices. We must help users to solve problems or complete tasks quickly or efficiently. So keep this in mind. When designing user flows, for example, designing a leverage feature like hamburger menus to display secondary functional features of the application, this will help users to find necessary information easily. And another example is like assume people scan and stop. How this concept applies from the F-shape pattern. We have the clear recall F-shape pattern. So it reduces the learning curve and also can by our flow that is from left to right and from top to bottom. Is that we can show the information from the importance from in this way. So how about next is the consistency. It helps the user understand how to interact with interface. This includes using consistent icon and also color and also typography throughout the application. So we can use this way as a design system to make this consistency and also help to bring to build up the brand image. So I have an example I want to show about the consistency on the table. So I think if the designer also will think when we creating mobile first table is quite difficult because the information mobile screen for table is like this. But information in the desktop would have more space. So how can we do? We need to think about the hierarchy and also which information is most important, and also keep the consistency between the mobile and also the desktop. And the fourth thing is the use familiar gesture. Make sure use of common gesture, just as swiping and scrolling, to provide an intuitive interface can reduce learning curve when using the application. Just like when here is the scrolling effect, just to finding the folder what you want, just like you find the way in your daily life you want to find the folder. It will echo to the real life experience. The fifth thing is test on the real devices. Test the interface on the variety of real devices with different screen sizes and resolution to ensure it works well in different environments. And the sixth thing is optimize for speed. And when people get any information instantly, we have less and less patience for waiting the page to load. So the speed of website will directly affect the potential customer. So here is some statistics show when the page loading time approximately 1 to 3 hours would be is the better way, because when we increase the loading time, it will increase the risk of losing users. So taking from the first step, creating seamless user experience, and we must then connect user from digital to real world. A personalized experience is key to retaining user and improving satisfaction and engagement. Provide information in the location that matches user experience, enhance the usability of product. I would like to use this one of my company's product named Tsoi to demonstrate some of the data capacity behind the scene. Tsoi is mobile-first internet, mobile-first location intelligence approach to utilize location-based data to provide personalized and timely information to user. The goal is to deliver the right content to the right person at the right time and place based on their current location and behaviors. This tiny device can detect several kinds of indoor data, and with some large places, it can even provide detailed location service. And this can include the user's current location, as well as information about places they have visited in the past. This data can be collected through various means, such as GPS, Wi-Fi, signal analysis, and Bluetooth. Because there are limitations on outdoor GPS, because outdoor GPS will fail to use satellite position through the GPS in indoor areas. So the positioning accuracy is poor when you're locating indoor areas. So our product Tsoi with hybrid positioning technology, it requires less beacon installation, and with the Bluetooth and magnetic resources, it can increase accuracy of data. For example, our previous cooperation with the Hong Kong International Airport, this can help to deliver relevant information to users before they realize they need it, so they can receive the push notification when they to the right place. And also, we can accurately capture the location and data of the user in airport to provide the required information. And also, every user has their own unique habit and preference. We believe that all information should be provided in the right time, at the right place. Therefore, by capturing the data of users indoor location, for example, there are shopping promotion information that can be provided when you arrive at shopping mall. And it can be even connect reality and virtuality through VR technology and change the user's new experience of using mobile phone. So, to conclude, we can use another perspective of mobile first design. Unless we have the big screen size like desktop, we have bigger screen size like this monitor. But so to design mobile first is like design for extreme the theory of design for extreme is because that when you accommodate the extremes, actually you can appease the 80% of majority better, and it works better to everyone. So this applies if you make your content work on small screen, because it pushes all the design of readability, accessibility, and with good visual hierarchy. It would be better for other bigger screens. Just like if you design for mobile first design and the rest of the devices, you will be have the solution for that. And that's all for my sharing today. And because I have a very urgent meeting next, so I cannot join the next session. So hope you enjoy the rest of the session, and thank you all.
Okay, and thank you very much, Nick. If any question that's in our audience, you may raise your hands to ask Nick now, if you have, because Nick may not join our Q&A section. Any questions? We may take some time. Maybe some questions from online. Maybe, thank you, Nick. And as we have a question online, maybe can I invite Nick to answer it? And how to design in different mobile device using mobile first design? Sue Chen, and she asking how to design in different mobile device using mobile first design.
Okay. I think the best thing I need to do is to have the clear information hierarchy and also the context. So for the information hierarchy within IA, so we can differentiate what content need to and what function feature need to put in the mobile, and also what is the difference from mobile and desktop and also other devices. This is the first thing. And the second thing is we need to have some breakpoints. And because we need to design for the mobile and also see if we need to also design for the tablet and also the desktop. So we need to think about the different breakpoints. And then third thing is we have the design system. So through the design system and also the design style guide, so we have the clear quick and also some components, UI components that can apply into mobile and also to the larger screen. So through this, we can also keep it consistency through the mobile, from mobile to desktop and also other bigger screen sizes.
How about the handling of flip mobile wheel port like the Samsung Z Flip? Samsung yes, the flip one. Do you have any experience to share?
I think the handle is just like a responsive website, the concept, because when we think about the design system and also the breakpoint, and also like this, so it will for the development we can make it like a proportional ratio to show it on different devices. So no matter if it's a flip version or also it is a very real dynamics and all devices and seldom. I think that would be very not the majority of the mobile screen or mobile sensors with catering or doing our design, but it can be catered by coding, for example, by we set the design system and also some responsive quick console we can cater the Samsung Flip devices.
And next, we will have Serena from Green Tomato, and welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Serena. So I'm the senior UX designer from Green Tomato. So here's how to say again thank you for the experience with a lot of information for your story. And now I'm going to say again about the title is developers, the role of UIUX in the small screen and touch direction. So it's okay to say again for the title. Okay, cool. So we can look at this slide, please. So let's just say mention about the background about what is mobile first. So I just simply sum up here again with mobile first in an approach that places mobile device user at the center, prioritize the design and user experience for that. So it's simply to say that we orienting design, we focus on the user center. So all things are based on development, focus on our users. So on mobile first, we focus on mobile users. On mobile users, so it's very straightforward. So while we are doing the mobile first design, we always facing the biggest challenges on limited screen will as on the limited screen will essay. So as you can see, the mobile size is compared with desktop one. On desktop, we have so many spaces that we can go for, but on mobile, as you can see, we are just with the size of like our hand. How can we summarize all the content just on the small space? Always important. So as the example just showed here, the content part is so limited. So how can we prioritize that? So if you ask me, oh, what is the role of designer while designing this? I will sum up in a sentence is we are trying to do less and make the most of the limited screen space on design. So the next question is, how can we execute it? So here are some of the methods that I want you to go for. So the most key of things, prioritize the content, always important, and the first priority of course. So based on our experience, we have some of the three of the principles that you can go for and you can follow. So the first one, the user needs principle. So for designers, we should focus on user needs and their expectation to ensure that content is what they want and provide a good experience to our users. So how can we do that? So in first, we can go through the path and with the real situation together. So now we are designing a lab. So for the situation is, what is the user need of an online marketplace that can connect code to the travelers who are looking for logic, for logic? So I have come up with some of the user needs. We can go through one by one. So for this case, the first one we will have an affordable logging option. So for the we expected on this platform, we can have different price of choice for the user to pay. So for the second, on the unique and personalized travel experience. So it's right on this platform, we will have different options for them to choose. For example, we will have different of the destination. We can choose the dates. You can choose how many guests you go with, so it is expected. For the first point, we will have the broad range of the recommendations. So for a platform that you are looking for different audience, that must be maybe we can have some option, we can live in the apartments, we can live in the house, we can go through, can live in castle, we can live in a tree house. They have very simple that you can such different choice. So the fourth one, the user we will expect that they are trust and safety feature. So from the design, we will maybe expect that we can have some rating for you to show that this is trusted enough or some review for the user, and to go to share by different users, so you can be also the decision that you could choose. And the next one is we can convenience in finding and booking for the accommodation. So very straightforward. On this platform, you provide different choice, so you can easily go through with what you want to search from there. And the final is a transparency in pricing and communication. So of course, on this platform, it is that they will show different price of the different choices. You can go through, we can check on different reviews from other users. So you can also make decision easily. So where we have different of the user needs, so we can just come in mind that, oh, how can we prioritize what the user needs that we think is the most important? So we can go through the next capability to see what they do the decision. So for different user needs that we have just mentioned, so for the number one, for the here we go through it's a convenient of finding the booking. So the search phases, so for the search one, we put on most of the topics. Every user while it comes to this platform, to search for you are looking for a different place that you want to live. So this is always the place on the top part. So for the second of it's come from different categories. So which will link it with they can have different of the range and different selection of categories that you can go for. And the third one and then we will place different of the options under with the photo, with the name, with the details, and also with the ratings that you can, like here they show the star how many with how many points that we're given. So it's also maybe one of the decisions that to affect if you will choose it or not. And for the fourth, we will place the prices under so that you can see the price very easily with other beautiful photos, and then how they have so many ranking, and you can also track the price. So we are after these of the grouping, these are the prioritized that we put at the first level view. And for the second thing we want to do, because while we summarize all the user needs, after you're grouping, you can also make the decision that what we will put on the secondary tier of the information. So such as for the number 5.1, for the unique and personalized travel experience, and then you can see we are all grouping the filtering. So after you keep the filter, you can inside the page, you can choose where you want to go and when, and you can how many people you go with. And for the number 6, for the affordable lodging price option, so you can come from here to set your price range for it, and other some of the options that you can also give some more filters, so we can cater for that with like a second tier of information. So it's a very clear overview that although you have so many user needs that you can fulfill, but the space is limited, so you can give by grouping and then by prioritization to put all your information in and on different page. So it is none of us that put all in one page. So after the first example, we come to the second one. It's a simplicity principle. So designers should simplify product content, reducing unnecessary elements and details to improve product visibility and usability. So how to do that? So we are happy capability here for this platform. As you can see, where you come here, there's so many information. So they are actually while we're separating the two screens, they're all in the one page. As you can see, where you come here, they have first come with the purpose. So where you want to go. So it's a large part that they show different options of search. And then underneath, they have the nearby section. And on the right side, it is a search history, and then about some banner for you to about your loyalty. And on the smaller section, there you can explore some other stuff. So as you can see, they try to put so many contents on one page. So after you scroll, I just keep scrolling, and then we can see we have so complex with many elements and advertisement on here. They try to push all the information that they want to show you on one of the page. And so for what the outcome is, the purpose of here are so many. So and you want to show many information to the user, but at the same time, they would distract them. They would get lost. So what I do, what I can do on this page, also they may lose the main focus. Actually, it's like to search, or they just want to find where they want to live to the booking. And then so at the same beside that, so they take a large part on the search. So usually we search there only, we can have different of the criteria, but they try to show all on the first level view. So it's also takes place on the mobile side. So you can come with a platform with another example that is for this one. It's actually for here for the hierarchy here that they are put in search and the filter on the first priority, and then for the category and the word and the rest of them is all the results. So all the choices that just show all the options underneath. So what something good here is they show a very simple criteria for you that to the user, the hierarchy is very clear, very simple, and they are very actually they just make the single purpose here is they show you that they give you many of the choice, but the only purpose is they provide you the accommodation that you can choose under here. And so by the purpose, so you for the user to come, and they won't easily get distracted. They can just keep scrolling and try on different choices. So but at the same time, their search bar and button are very prominent. They actually while they keep scrolling down, the upper part there keeps sticky. So so user can easily to change category, or they look for another of the choices, and then at the same time you can keep browsing all the options. So this is something good of the example that it's showing the simplicity. So for the first principle is the emphasis principle. So the filter should place the most important and relevant content in the most prominent position according to user needs and behavior patterns to attract user attention. So what is that? So give again for this history. So we also think good for them here is they highlight the most important recommendation option at the top of the page. So actually they said some of the behind logic, you can set a beside after you prioritize all the content, what the next thing that you can use something behind that on this platform. For the first time user to come, maybe you don't show their behavior, you don't have any record, but they show you some of the most ranking, the accommodation with the most higher ranking here to put on the first, or the reason promote the choices they reason they want to promote for you. So you can use such as the method to give option to the user. So what they give at the same time. So for user, they can keep just scrolling on the option. So as this is very single purpose, it's also linked to that they stay on this page because they want their purpose to come as they look for different options. So you can, so after you prioritize all the things, so you can further to nail down the search result for a very simple filter to find that. So because we put a filter on the second layer, but it's at the same time they also sticky and prominent on the first place. So after just I was there, I'm worried of browsing on the information and also just switch to filtering very easily at the same time. So always keep it prominent. So besides the principles I have mentioned, so any more about this as far as sharing topic here is also about the interaction. So I repeat that some of points that I can further. For you. So actually they have suggested for the numbers of the exact number that we suggested for you for the touch space. So on the platform A, actually they do like suppose they give things that at least we do have to do 48 pixel of height on the touch space. So for Apple, they give number with 44 pixels. So these figures and logic you can apply while you design your buttons or design icon or design text field. You remember some of the basic rules while you make the design. So this is not doesn't mean that you have nothing to follow. You can take some of the reference or numbers to go for it as a reference. So for the second is also we have the CTA placement. So taking the example for you can see on the left one. If you want to do the primary the actions we are in the primary action button here is the location icon. But they put on the if we treat it as the primary button, we put it on the upper part like the header position. So on the middle of the flow through, if I think everyone see this report, so we identify different fields that actually would cater to different parts of the screen. It's the most easier area for the user. So if we put the primary button on the top of the design, it's quite hard for user to pick and not familiar with that. So after that, we based on this work, we always can put the primary button on the bottom, so we can see the outer design. So you're easily click by your phone. And so that's why we can also while you're through the forms, you can always see a lot of CTA button and always sticking on the bottom. You can sticking on the below, sticking on the top. So that's also has a bit of behind. So the next is about the text interaction. So we actually also from the touch interaction we compare with mobile, we need to avoid that mouse over and over effect. So this is kind of a desktop gesture. So if we try to avoid and use the touch space actions like tapping, swiping, and pinching on the mobile. So this is a gesture of the summarize that gives some of the examples on how what kind of gesture usually will have a mobile. So this is the name. Actually, I think that now seeing the name is quite natural that even you don't know the name, but it's also you also know this gesture already. It's quite because you were so using this gesture you can access. So, but here we skip some of the names, like a tab, like page, like we can have rotate, you can have press, like as a example. So, so go back about we just mentioned about hover. So see here give example on desktop is quite usually happen on some e-commerce website. So where we want to show a product. We can use the hover function on the so where you mouse, just hover on it, it don't work out, you can play. And the program will have to show and other slides on like on the right one. So this is quite usual to do on desktop, but while we're on mobile, how can we do that? So to replace that, actually, we don't have the mouse on mobile. You mainly use by our finger. So we can make use of a press. So for this example on mobile, you don't really need to have a major give a press. They can also to do the similar behavior like the hover on that desktop. So the image will also be changed. So you can get option this maybe use carousel or use some other design is already can show same effect. So give some more example we can use on the long press. It's also quite usual that we use on mobile. So long press here, like the left one is on the LS and second is on the WhatsApp. So where you're giving long press on here that you can through this gesture, you can give some further actions for the user to do. So you don't need to show on URL, you can just by this gesture, you can simply just and then give her some more function to do. So this one is also on the Netflix. So after you long press with the like button, you can actually you long press it, you can go for giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down for this function. So often talking about the interaction. So here comes to the final one. It's also the most important, I think. And it depends on the building size, because after you go all the design, you go through all the physical, you give you go through the visual design. So testing is also things that you have to do. For example, you need to try to test on various of the device because it's quite different with desktop. We will have the same ratio on mobile because of different brands. They will have different sizes of the mobile screen. So such as we have iOS with the iOS and have so many options. So you have to put your design to see, where you have bigger or smaller screen. What we will happen is look good also on different design. So the second is you have to test with the real user to get feedback. So we can before you do the product launch, sometimes we have the translator have the results will go through some user interviews, so like you in a prototype for user to test on the screen. So you can make use of the prototype. You can get through that. Is it looks good on user? The user can click. They know that where you maybe you design new icons. Do they know what it means, or is that having enough space for them to touch, or all the information is that they are clear enough, or if you need to make the font bigger or smaller. So the first one is test for the accessibility. So accessibility covers what we do for the disabilities people, so such as color contrast, is that good enough, on font size, big or small, or even on the voiceover function. So is that under the voiceover mode, is that go through really well for the user. So you can imagine that maybe I'm doing an air ticket product, so you can imagine is it good or running smooth for a blind user to use to buy a ticket successfully for your device. So the last point is test for the performance, because on mobile user they always load for the fast loading time for having on mobile, because on mobile we may not have a very stable connection. So the performance you have to analyzing on your videos or image, also the key point that we look for. That we have to pay attention with. So there's such a lot of things today. So if I have to summarize in one sentence, it's less is more is really important where you do the mobile design. So prioritize the simplicity, the clarity, and the ease for use for the user. Less is more is always have to keep in mind. Orienting the time. So thank you. Thank you for sharing today.
Thank you very much, Serena, and very interesting and very detailed case sharing today. Or shall we proceed to the Q&A section of today? And we will try to use a more interactive way to collect your questions. All right, you can scan the QR code and leave us any questions. If you are in the audience, you may just raise your hands. But if you are feeling a little bit shy, you can also use a text. If you have any question. Since we can see if anyone is typing online. Yeah. Maybe someone typing or in the audience if you have any questions. All right, no questions. Ready? Question coming. How does Simply balance the content and simple design? Balance the content and the design. What do you think?
Actually, I think for this as I just mentioned that while you're doing the design, we always look for user centered. So for no matter his, I think actually we do every given design, we also come with the user needs, and we will after we understand user need, will set some of the user goal on what we want to do for the design. So if we want to say how to simply balance the content and the simple design, I think we have to say that after we just like what I show on the use case that we just wanted to of course we want to think on the because on where we design on mobile we are thinking very important that to see what are the first glance of where you after user come to see on your design and then so that's why so while you are doing the presentations, you can set what is you want to show on the set of the screen. But is that mean that while you simply after simply set needs a prioritize with the content and it on the is that mean
one more question.
Still
On the first one.
yes, okay. So on the
Second line.
so after you set all the user needs, so you prioritize the contents, but is that mean simplify your content is equal to you trying to do a simple design. So actually, I think it's not. So it's mainly about after you giving a how to define you like giving a simple design is based on the user needs and the requirements that you would like to go for. So if that means that the simple content or after you simplify your content, you prioritize content, if that means you are doing a simple design. You can say that, but it's not artificial. It means that just like the example on online just search, I tried the PMB example that compare with the another is that the booking.com one, which is the blue one. So if you can see that actually PMB is go for the example is more simple design. If that means you are prioritize content, you set the user needs, you give the only purpose on this. Actually, after prioritize, you already is doing the very simple design because you are doing the focus for the user. So I think it's how to balance is that you are really comes up with the design is based on the user, and after you understand and you try to prioritize. So if the outcome is already, we would say that it's simple enough.
Okay, thank you very much, Serena. How about the first line of the question? How can I cater accessibility if I am a junior designer? If two people want you to answer this question.
Okay, how can I cater accessibility? So for accessibility, mainly we can simply just divide into two sections to understand. So for the first one is about the visual accessibility that we have to fulfill. So visual accessibility that we cover, like the first one is on the color contrast. So you can just simply just check on the color contrast of Google. There are some of the tools that you can check on like you put the background color on the text color. So is that they will show how the requirement to say that is it a fake, is it can pass the accessibility. So is the color contrast is enough, just like you putting a black text on a white background is with high contrast of accessibility, I would say. But if you put the white text on the yellow background, so usually we just give a low accessibility. So this is the first one. So for the second is about the font size. So is that big enough for user to see? So for normal, like normal for the font size that we suggest on the mobile, actually we minimum with most suggested font size is like the 16 pixel, but the minimum is like the 12 pixel. And we just use it on TNC. And so that you can basically reverse some of the rules or you make sure that, because sometimes some client will say that, oh, I want you to put more content on one screen. So solution that, oh, you make the font size smaller that so you can paste more information, which is not make sense is if you make the font size too small, it's not user friendly for user to wish the content. So this is not as we can say this is not present accessibility and also not user friendly that for user where they look for all the content. So for the second of the chat on the accessibility is on a voiceover. Actually, on every phone, you can also have the same function. This function is for imagine that for the user with disability, maybe they cannot see anything. They cannot see what is happening on the screen. So by voiceover, they can wipe the content. They will actually, if you set the accessibility behind, for example, they already go for the back button, it will read the back button, and then you swipe, and then within the web header, and then you swipe on the image. For the user, they don't have, they can't see the image. So for accessibility handling, we will give the alt text for them to describe. For example, the image is have ladies is having dinner. They will give such the text on the voiceover for them to know that. So for the simple this kind of for the example, so I think for junior designer, they can go through all these two for the color or the visual and also the voiceover to investigate on the accessibility on how can we do or learn more on this. You can even test on use your phone to test on it, because for me, I will also do voiceover to test on different apps to see if I really cannot see anything, can I accessible, or can I finish the task on mobile.
Yeah, thank you for your really detailed suggestions to our other designer. And so I have a new questions. That do you have any suggestion on set of forms hierarchy in mobile design?
Oh, okay. Actually, for the port hierarchy, I just mentioned for the most suggested port size is 16 pixels. So this is a number that you can follow. So for the minimum, we can use 12 that I just mentioned. But for the second, beside the font size, and you can also, I remember Nick also showed one of the example at first on the A/B test. So for the left one, we give all the tests, and the second one we try to prioritize or to do the grouping on the test. So you can do it by, for example, you give by title, and you break the test in different parts, and you also give a title with bold text or big the font size. If on hierarchy, that so for this hierarchy, user can know that you have this content part by part. Or the second, you can on the side you can use by bullet point. You can break it by points. So this is also on the visual hierarchy that you can help the user to get to more easy to know your test, and at the same time you can train down your test so that you have more space and on so maybe at the first you have like 100 words, so after you train down or separate into point, you can break like 50 of the words, so it all already saves some of the space of the weight, so it's also help.
Yeah, I found a really hot question. Someone raising it and it's going up on the top. What are the common mistakes to avoid in mobile first design? What's any common mistake?
So for it's my experience. So the first one is I may give maybe I'll give an example here. As while you are doing the because we are so consider about the warrior design, we concerned about the user need, right? So we come up with a case is where you're doing the insurance product. I don't know, I think everyone has ever tried to buy insurance. So you know that when you try to apply insurance product, you have to go through a bunch of the form with very long form that to complete. So but some as the mobile device I keep raising, and then the user comes to us that, oh, is that we can do these actions on the mobile. And so we also thinking that with the larger the form, after we study, we investigate to see that mobile, maybe on this case, what the user want to do, but finally we think that this is not the best behavior for them. The reason why is because on the insurance form, you have so many information that you have to show to the user. Maybe you go for step by step, and then you have T&C or other requirements that they need to look for. So what we suggest for them for on this case, because for the agent and usually the agent bring with their iPad to sell their product or given to stay all the content under the on that insurance form. So after that, you will give a sign on this. So we still suggest to keep this part on the iPad to complete. But for the mobile, if they really want to do on their insurance service, what can we do? That is, we suggest because for the complete form for this action, we are doing it one time only, right? So what we want to do on mobile is more than complete the form, we are it's for checking. You keep checking on your insurance details or content. So if we for these cases, we will suggest that if we really want to do some of the service on mobile, maybe we are not doing the phone part. We put the service on checking on the insurance and on that details or check on some other information. So it is nothing that the user can is, oh, I have this need for the role of the designer, we still have to understand for the user their product are they really need to do on mobile first. So I think this is one of the common mistakes that we could go through at first to how to define if the user really needs for the mobile first service or design on their product.
All right, I found a question that's for Nick, but I'm sorry, Nick already left because he has a urgent meeting. How about listening to Serena's Serena's opinion? What are the best methods for image and media in mobile first design? The best method, any suggestion or example you make for something?
Okay. Actually, as I just mentioned, that on mobile we consider about the loading time. So the best practice on the image and on the media that we can, for example, for some of the animation, we will do a lot of animation on the mobile. So I actually for some of the first experience, some clients as they would just put the MP4 video directly on the app to do the onboarding screen. But besides that, actually we can, of course, you can download the video, but at the same time, if you are doing the animation, we can make sure of export this as a JSON file, which is present in the code. So easy help on the downsizing. And for the image that usually we will do for at least 3/8 of the image. So because on the mobile, they will have different resolution, so maybe even do 5/8 of the image, but we can do a communication with the authorities text on the is that really we need to do 5/8 of the image text on it, or we can actually do downsizing a bit and then so that we can increase our loading time. So but so this is some of the best practices so you can go through, but if you really try the details, you can just test by communication with the developer. So this is quite the real case that we usually go for.
It seems we have already answered a lot of questions to draw an end to our workshop. How about the one last question? That's one. Do brands and retailer voice any barriers when adopting such UI/UX process? Such they're trying to ask you any clients stress they may affect your design or practice in UI/UX design.
Oh, okay. I can give another example is where I doing on a credit card product, and actually it's a credit card product on banking on their banking mobile app. So actually, because for doing the product, we usually will include different of the stakeholders. So here example for a credit card, we will have the card team. So card team is manage different kinds of card products. So each card holder maybe will have different function. So second, we will involve the reward teams because this is of different credit card, we will have different reward for user to join. And the third part is the loan team. So they also consider that if their loan conversion can be common on that way. So one of the so I am at that time I'm doing the app optimization at that part. So on that time we try to gather all the current information just on that tab. So at the same time, so what the challenge there is the screen size is just like it's just like this, but every of the stakeholders are given different needs and requirements that they try to put their stuff and their information at the first glance of view. So they want to put that, they try to make their information upper and upper. So I think, so at that time, because at the limited side, and we have a lot of argument on, who each stakeholder say, what the information we try to put upper or to put more problem in. So throughout that, what's the solution that we try to list out their needs of different stakeholders. And second, we go through what different, because at the same because of the stakeholders of that they will care about their business in their business requirement. But for designer, we are more focused on the user needs. So maybe for the user, maybe actually they don't need the long service, and they for the user they may not want to see that kind of long service requirement. But for the stakeholder view, they think that, oh, this is the part for me to draw cells. Of course, I will need to put it upper and upper. So this is always have to argue and to balance different different stakeholders communication. So throughout that, of course, we try to understand what are their needs. And the second one is, just like I mentioned, we do some of the user testing and through some of the data to understand, oh, actually a user has some feedback. And so this is where the user needs can we give a balance. And the third one is, we try to do the design to show that, oh, if we try to put all the information on the first glance of view, it will become such a path, or even the user may get lost or they cannot find a contract. Yes.
Do you also write the copy? Are you also responsible for copywriting?
For you meant the test on the copywriting.
So you mentioned that you work with banks.
Yes.
In the credit team, right?
Yes,
You
a
work
credit
with
card.
You work with different stakeholders.
Yes.
At the bank.
Yes.
So they must be having their own marketing team
Yes.
who works closely with you as a designer.
Yes.
But in order to embed the information and place it higher up on their website or maybe on their mobile application,
Yes. Yes.
do you help them with the copywriting material or writing the content with to address or to present it to the end users or customers?
Oh, this is also the things that we would definitely do, because take an example for like for the loan team, of course they will have different promotion.
Right.
Yes, a promotion. So on the promotion, we may, let's say we want to do a promotion banner for that. So this kind of area that you can put. So for the promotion, if they only have this kind of limited space, we will give them a suggested link or test to that. Oh, you tried it, or maybe you wanted to put the title, put all the benefits about your non-product on the build. But if we at the same time, we need to also manage the hierarchy of the whole of the page. We cannot just say one promotion in like such of a large part of that. So we will give the suggested like the text links to them, or if we give different kind of design to say, oh, it's measure their expectation. If they want to really put a lot of content, we will just give a suggestion that maybe you can try to trim down, or just like I said, or you can break your requirements or your benefits into like a bullet point, and then this is the kind of the way that we will communicate with that.
How do you validate the success of the initiatives? So, I mean, usually you do A/B test, right?
Yes.
So, I know what is the framework that you use for performing the A/B testing?
I think beside of A/B test is kind of the research way that we can do. I think throughout the second we can also do very user testing for the user. So for this kind of design, we will check on the user is they browse on the whole the homepage. They can throughout your design they can recognize that this is the section that we want to sell the loan product to them. Because actually, as I just said, we try to simplify, you make it very simple. or you suggest to give 1 or 2 sentences for the user. So we would test on that if we just use the limited space or just by this copy, are they really understand this is the product that we want to share with them, or to give them, are they understand this is the section to do something from product. So it's a
Let's be coming up with different designs. Right?
yes, yes.
So how do you evaluate the success of every design? So let's say you come up with 3 or 4 designs for the same transformation or maybe for optimizing the customer experience.
Yes.
Right. So I'm trying to understand on what basis do you you think that a certain design is successful over other formats?
Okay, so coming up with, go back to the user testing, actually we will get a different of the participant. So let's say we get a panel that we can do this design to go through, like it's we can have different design, let's say just 2 and A/B test. So we would just figure out that different user to see so how many users they vote for the A design, or how many users they prefer for both design. So through all this kind of data, we can give support. Or some of the clients will do, they really do their A/B test after they launch. So maybe for A user that is to see this A design, for the user that is seeing this design. So are they will they have the ambition to click on it, or you check on how many grades on it. So it is I think it can give us some of the data or numbers to show, to validate is it successful or really applicable.
How long does it usually take?
How long you mean it for the whole period, right? For the user.
Just for evaluating the success.
Evaluate. I think it's based on, sometimes we need to communicate with the user how they can, like for user testing, we will for user testing, if we before the result design launch, we will just go with different of the participant. But if we will go for the second one, it's after you launch, maybe you can just simply like taking maybe 1 month or 2 months to check the result. Yes, maybe it's very enough. Because you need some of the time to check on it, you can say just 1 week and then you can see the result. So I think at least 1 month is quite optimal to go for.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Serena, for a really long time, the Q&A section. Thank
I
you.
wouldn't say too long, but I hope you really get help.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Before we join in to our workshop, I would like to express appreciation to our speakers, to their time and expertise. Thanks to all of the audience for your support, and there will be 2 more upcoming workshops in May under the Asia Smart project. If you may go to our website for more information, and you can scan the QR code here, and you may do the registration. Finally, may we ask for your involvement to fill out the questionnaire as feedback on how we did and suggest how we could improve. Please scan the QR code here and drop us your comments. Everyone, scan the QR code and drop us your comment. All right, have a great evening. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.